Welcome back into another episode of the Daft on Draft podcast. Today, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We have not done a mock draft all summer. We feel like we've got enough done to pull us off. So we're going to go for it here. We're going to pull off our first mock draft tonight. Today we'll just do 1 through 16, and then we'll follow up with 17 through 32 in the next episode here. But we're going off of, I believe it's betting odds to win the Super Bowl is what we're currently basing the draft order on here. But let's dive in here, Dalton. What do you think? What you got anything to add before we get started here?
No, I mean, I just want to point out you're going to miss a name here, and it's because
Oh,
we
right.
just don't think he's going to declare Arch Manning. We're not putting him on here.
Yep, archless. We are archless here. So, first overall pick here, we've got the Cleveland Browns on the clock. I know the Cleveland Browns has drafted 2 quarterbacks, man. If the Browns are picking first overall in the NFL draft, they're taking a quarterback. Like, that's just, it's the reality of the situation. You could argue that it could be like 2016, where they had the second overall pick and didn't have a quarterback, and they still traded out and they let the Eagles take Carson Wentz. If they think they're more than a year away and they're dead set on Hurts, then perhaps that could be the case. But in this exercise here, a third and a fifth round quarterback are not going to stop them from drafting LaNorris Sellers here first overall. Again, anticipating a leap from LaNorris Sellers. Sellers has all of the tools in the world and has, I believe, a pretty strong foundation as a pocket passer. Definitely room to get better, but a foundation as a pocket passer already. So, Cleveland Browns, LaNorris Sellers.
Yeah, the Jets at number 2 are a tough one, man. Real tough because the positions that they really need aren't super strong, and the positions that they don't need. I mean, honestly, like outside of offensive tackle, there's not a ton of positions that I look at in this class where I'm like, oh yes, that's a premium position with
Mm-hmm.
some really good football players. Or potentially really good football players. But there's one guy who really stands out to me at the wide receiver position, and I think that the Jets could really use another offensive weapon, and that is Arizona State wide receiver Jordan Tyson. His body control, his ability to win the ball in the air. I don't know if he is an elite athlete, but man, is he a good football player. So for me, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Garrett Wilson, not a huge body guy, not a physical freak. He's fast, obviously, and he was
Mm-hmm.
silky. And I think Tyson can be that guy. I think Tyson, even on top of that, is better going after the football as well. So getting a weapon in New York.
Another one. Yeah, it's worth pointing out here though. There's like 5 teams at the top 7 of this draft order. That, like, if they're picking where they're picking, they're probably looking at a quarterback, and there's just not that
Yes.
many quarterbacks. Just not that many quarterbacks, which leads me into the New Orleans Saints, who are in a very tight cap situation and will be for at least another year. Arch Manning is also from New Orleans, and so here I am anticipating a 2-year rebuild for the Saints, and we're just going to take BPA here instead of trying to finick around with the quarterback here. We're taking BPA. The New Orleans Saints here draft Peter Woods. Their defensive line room is a massive void right now. So in my opinion, the best overall player is on the board, and you are, if you're punting on quarterback, take the best overall player in the draft, and that's what they do here. So the Peter Woods heads to the Saints.
Yeah, and we're just going to double up on Clemson defensive lineman here because the Tennessee Titans are going to go with TJ Parker, who I think we both kind of decided is the one guy who we're looking at on the edge where it's like, yeah,
You can
he
see a little
has the
bit. You got to squint still, but
he has the prerequisites here that we kind of need. He needs a lot more if we want to draft him 4th overall. From a pass rush plan perspective, from just the little bit of seasoning that he needs. But man, the physical traits are there.
yeah, couldn't agree more. So moving on to the New York Giants here, projected to pick 5th. Again, the Giants are a team, if they fire everybody, which is a very real possibility, they could be back in the saddle for a quarterback. I know they just took one in the first round this past year, but patience is low for quarterbacks in the league. But instead here, Jim Mara, spurned by his former other top 5 running back leaving for a division rival, dips his foot back in the top 5 running back pool here. Right now, they're running out Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scattaboo. Nothing against Tyrone Tracy or Cam Scattaboo here. But we saw a running back go 5th overall last year. Let's make it happen again this year. 5th overall to the New York Giants, Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love.
Love is awesome. It
A top
pains
3 player
me.
in the class. He just plays running back. Yeah.
Yeah. It pains me to see a running back go top 5 to the Giants because of what happened last time. But because I just don't want to see that for any player. I want players to succeed. And for me, like drafting a running back that high, it's tough to see the vision unless you have the infrastructure around him. Now that offensive line is half decent, but if they don't have the quarterback play, we need to get the quarterback play right first. We need to get the coaching staff right. We need to get this offense right. So I don't want to see him fail. What I do want to see is this next pick, Jermon McCoy, going to the Carolina Panthers. I think Jermon McCoy might be my favorite player in this class
He's
overall.
top 3 for me.
He's unbelievably talented when healthy. And him and JC Horner are pretty much, as college football players, the Spider-Man meme back at one another. Except I think McCoy is more technically sound than JC Horn was. Horn was very, very grabby coming out, and McCoy is not. He doesn't have to be, and he has that confidence. So hopefully he continues and maintains that confidence after the ACL injury. Coming back, he was on the practice field recently here, so good news there, and a phenomenal player in this class.
Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts. Again, if the Indianapolis Colts are picking 7th overall and there's a quarterback on the board, they're taking a quarterback. And they went for the high upside shot the last time, and it has not worked out. So here they're going to go with a 3-year starter, who I believe is the most accurate passer in the class of the guys with tools. Baron Morton is not the most accurate guy that I've charted, but again, Baron Morton has very average tools. Fernando Mendoza, second most accurate guy I've charted with good tools. I think is brilliant pre-snap, post-snap, 3-year starter. So keep the Indiana man, and I guess he's from Miami, whatever. Keep the Bloomington man in the state of Indiana here, and Indianapolis Colts here drafting Fernando Mendoza over the likes of Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller, Nussmeier, all that group. Again, if you know me, you know I love Fernando Mendoza, so shouldn't be too big of a shock.
Yeah, and over all of those names is not a bad idea in my opinion. The next one is I'm stamping it. I'm standing on the table for it. I believe this is what is going to end up happening by the end of the 2025 season and going into the 2026 NFL draft. I believe Trevor Gooseby will be a top 5 player in this class. I think he'll probably end up going in the top 5. And I think that he will be the first offensive tackle taken. And that in this simulation is to the Cleveland Browns, who could use some left tackle help. R.I.P. Jedrick Wills.
Yeah, right now it's DeJuan Jones, a natural right tackle. They could always kick him back to right tackle as well. Although Gooseby looked better at left tackle. Yeah, we'll see, man. I think left tackle. If you could get Sellers in the top offensive tackle in the first round next year, I feel pretty good about that. On paper, at this point, like obviously there's a whole season to play, but moving on to the loss.
Can you imagine? Let's just bring this up real quick. Can you imagine Caden Proctor and DeJuan Jones?
The biggest offensive tackles in the NFL.
It combined 750 pounds.
It would be unreal. They'd be pushing 8 bills together. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders here, and I'm going to make the most Pete Carroll pick that you could think of, that you could ever ask or think of after they just drafted a running back top 5 here. So with the 9th pick in this mock draft, we're looking at the Las Vegas Raiders taking linebacker CJ Allen. Again, we're talking about a head coach that's taken an undersized 3 tech in the first round, a running back in the first round in Seattle, a linebacker in the first round in Seattle, and Jordan Brooks. So he doesn't care about positional value. CJ Allen's a hell of a football player. And the linebacker unit in the Raiders in Las Vegas, the Jamal Adams experience looks like it's working early on, moving him to linebacker, but we'll see how that plays out long term. But we're going to upgrade that linebacker room here. We're going to go Georgia linebacker CJ Adams.
Yeah, but the next pick, the Rams are always tough because the Rams just kind of seem to do whatever they want to, and it works out for them in the draft. I have been trying to mock them an offensive tackle for like the past 4 years, and they just refuse to do it. And so I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to go with Caden Proctor. Listen, I've never seen somebody more powerful. We talked about it on the offensive tackle podcast that came out yesterday. He's a monster. He's a monster. The Rams love, love, love to run the football down your throats. And he is an athletic 300 and however many pounds he is.
Mm-hmm.
He can move people. He is intelligent. I think he would be a great fit, even if it's become more of a man gap scheme than it was. But I truly believe he is athletic enough to survive in any run scheme.
I love it. I love it. I love it. They might need a quarterback too. If you saw the Matt Stafford stuff, they've got him in an Airstreamer in like some
I
Tron-esque
thought about
device.
I did think about quarterback. Kate Klubnik was right there for me, and I was actually thinking about that. Somebody who could develop behind Stafford for a year possibly. But yeah, man, Stafford is he's been beat up for his
He's
entire
been
career.
through it. He's been through it.
He's a tough bitch, man.
Uh-huh.
He really is.
I'll never forget. I'm a lifelong Browns fan. So growing up and his rookie season, dislocating his shoulder and still throwing a game-winning touchdown pass with one arm. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We're going to go back-to-back offensive tackles here. The one position in this class that we've kind of agreed on is like, oh, yeah, there's some names. I guess running back's a pretty decent class too, but where we've like, yeah, there's some names here. So, again, this is the third offensive tackle off the board in the top 11 picks here. Going to the Arizona Cardinals. They've got their left side locked down with Paris Johnson Jr. I think they could have probably drafted a right tackle this year. They opted for defensive tackle and Walter Nolan. Jonah Williams is a free agent. Jonah Williams is also pretty mid. And so here with the 11th overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals upgrade that and draft Spencer Fano from Utah, a natural right tackle there. Although Dalton wants to see him at left tackle, so that'd be fun.
I would love to see him
But
at left tackle, although yes,
yeah,
he's playing right tackle for that team.
so Spencer Fano, Arizona Cardinals.
And with the next pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Colorado corner DJ McKinney. They love their length, man, and DJ McKinney has it. Listen, he's not my favorite in this class. I believe you are much higher on McKinney than I am personally. I like probably Abney and Harris more than I like McKinney. Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I think
McKinney, Harris, and Terrell probably all the same tier for me, though.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Abney is a tier above.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. McKinney for me was the least consistent out of all of the guys. But you can see the vision with him. And I mean, honestly, just playing at Colorado, playing with Dion there, playing, alongside Travis Hunter, who I believe might be the most intelligent football player I've ever watched in my entire life, is going to help him progress into this final season potentially. And so for me, that length and the relationship with Dion, which is important for the Dallas Cowboys as well. It just made sense.
Love it. Love it. So with the 13th pick here, I am going to, in the near future, I would like to start a conversation on just how high we should value Connor Lew in this draft class. Because I think he might be one of the better players in this entire draft class. The Auburn center, Connor Lew. Miami, I don't even know what direction Miami takes after this year. They could, like, you could tell me they could bottom out this year, and I'd
blow it
be
up.
like, yeah, absolutely. And they could blow everything up. And that includes trading Tua. That includes trading Tyreek. That includes trading Waddle, who hasn't, they just paid Waddle. So Waddle's probably safe. But, like, you could tell me that every ounce of talent on this roster could be offloaded for picks and cap relief. And I would be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. So picking a center to them doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, this talent, like this draft, I get to this point, I'm like, who do I pick for these teams, man? Already at pick 13. So in my mind here, they need a center. And I think Connor Lew is one of the better players in this draft class. So we're going Connor Lew to the Miami Dolphins right here.
And with the next pick, the New England Patriots are making a pick for the memes, kind of. Um, they are going with Denzel Boston. Funny, obviously, because of the last name Boston, but big receiver out of Washington, somebody who I watched when we went back and kind of watched some of these wide receivers around here. And there is um, uh, 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 not much to like about this class.
Hmm.
But if I'm going to squint and try to see it with anybody, I think it would be Boston out of the group of guys that I watch. Now, I know that you are a big fan of the Louisville wide receiver, Chris Bell.
I do like the Louisville wide receiver.
I haven't gotten my eyes on him in the same way, so I couldn't make that choice between the two. But I think by the end of the year, depending on what the quarterback play looks like at Washington, Boston could end up being one of those guys.
I love it. Yeah, you got to watch Chris Bell, dude. 227, 6'1", 227, and legitimate like jetpack explosiveness. He's
I
awesome.
mean, that sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was a big Xavier Leggett guy, so
Yeah. All right. Seattle Seahawks here, pick 15. Mike McDonald. I mocked Nick Emmanwori to the Seahawks over and over and over and over and over again last year, and then the Seahawks drafted Nick Emmanwori, traded up for Nick Emmanwori, and drafted him. So, maybe we'll speak this one into existence as well. Second level, they just extended Ernest Jones, but Ernest Jones's strength has always been playing downhill, has always been kind of displacing in gaps. And then they have Tyrell Dotson playing Will as well, and I like Tyrell Dotson, Tyrell Dotson, but I think that's a little upgradable. Why not go out and get a converted safety who's a legitimate 6'3" and 245 pounds, 240 pounds, to add to that second level with Mike McDonald and say, have some fun, man. So 15th overall here, Seattle Seahawks taking Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles.
I love Styles, man. He was a lot of fun to watch, and
Mhm.
I love the safety to linebacker transitional guys. I mean, look at guys like Milano in the NFL. Obviously, he
Mhm.
played the safety, back in the day.
Jamie and
Um,
Sherwood in New York.
yeah, and
Another
and
one.
Jermaine Pratt played safety at NC State at 235 pounds or something
Yeah.
like that. And so, yeah, Styles is a legitimate freak athlete. He's still going to be incredibly. He could have declared last year at 19 or something.
Yeah.
He's going to be 20 or 21 when he's drafted, so he's still going to be very young. But moving on to the Chicago Bears, the last pick that we are going to talk about today is CJ Baxter, running back Texas. And this might come out of nowhere. You might be like, Dalton, what are you smoking? No, what are you smoking? Go back and watch the 2023 tape. That dude is a freak of nature. And if he stays healthy, and obviously it's a running back with an already an entire year missed of college football because of an injury, but if he comes back and he is healthy, he is going to push this Texas team to potentially win a national championship. And Wisner's great too,
He is.
but there is a serious physical discrepancy between these two guys. Baxter has that round one running back build,
Yeah.
athleticism. He is a freak. And so for me, the Bears upgrade from what they have in the backfield now, and we know they are going to want to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
Baxter is a great workhorse for that.
Yeah. We've talked so much about it. If you want to hear us rave about CJ Baxter, go listen to our Texas offense review episode. We spend probably a good 5 to 7 minutes just on him in that episode alone. So, CJ Baxter, talented back. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year, and him and Wisner could be a legitimate, like, earth-shattering duo in Austin. So that would be a lot of fun. All right, let's run through picks 1 through 16 again here before we get out of here. Again, Cleveland Browns picking first overall, go LaNorris Sellers, quarterback, South Carolina. New York Jets, Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. New Orleans Saints, Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson. Tennessee Titans take TJ Parker, edge rusher, Clemson. New York Giants take Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. Carolina Panthers take corner Jermod McCoy, Tennessee. Did you see, by the way, that Jermod McCoy's already practicing again? He's back on the football field.
I literally said that on the podcast, Corey.
Oh, geez. Yeah, then I completely spaced out. Sorry.
Pay attention.
I'm coming straight from the gym, so I'm eating like a turkey stick in between my segments, pushing the mic away from my face as I'm like taking a bite while you're talking. Yeah, Jermod McCoy practicing. 7 Indianapolis Colts, Fernando Mendoza, Indiana quarterback. Cleveland Browns back on the clock with the Jaguars pick, and they go Trevor Gooseby, offensive tackle, Texas. That's a projection pick there based off of what we saw in those limited reps. 9th overall, Las Vegas Raiders, CJ Allen, linebacker, Georgia. 10th overall, Los Angeles Rams, Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. Arizona Cardinals take Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah. Dallas Cowboys, 12th overall, take DJ McKinney, cornerback, Colorado. 13th overall, the Miami Dolphins go Connor Lew, center out of Auburn. 14th overall, the Patriots go Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of Washington. 15th overall, Seattle Seahawks take another athletic, long athlete at the second level of their defense here to in Sonny Styles from Ohio State, linebacker. And then the Chicago Bears round out this episode with running back CJ Baxter out of Texas. Pretty good work there, 1 through 16.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
What do you got for the people on the way out here, Dalton?
Nothing. I love you guys. It's about my bedtime.
And it's about time for football. We're almost there. So hang on just a little bit longer here. We'll be back later this week, obviously 17 through 32. And then we'll talk about 5 more offensive tackles here to round out this week as well. But until next time, this has been another episode of the Daft on Draft podcast. Goodbye.